Over the past couple of weeks or months, ever since the Nintendo Switch 2 was launched to the world, Nintendo has been being strange, keeping games behind locked doors, not releasing a lot of games, and barely even speaking on the fact. But just recently, there's been a leak that popped up that was supposedly going to give us a Nintendo Direct. Now, of course, you can't just trust these leaks on face value, but the short story is, this Direct is supposedly now going to be a partner showcase, which I find very weird, but let's talk more on that. Let's get straight into it. Now, I don't want to sit here and just complain about why Nintendo's not doing this, or that, or be like an ungrateful brat. But the point is, I think that there definitely could have been other things that Nintendo could have added for this special month. Usually February kind of lines up what we're going to be seeing for the year, but right now, you look at February, you look at the upcoming games, there's not really too many upcoming games to really be excited about. So far we got the Mario Tennis Fever game. We also got Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, Tamagotchi Life, and Pokemon Pokopia, and probably Champions. So right now, what in the world is going on? And if we look all the way back in the September Direct, the September Direct wasn't necessarily a big Direct. It was considered more a mediocre Direct by a lot of Nintendo fans. So you really got to ask yourself, Nintendo, are you okay? You have something planned? Because if you look back at pretty much every single launch of a brand new console, you'll look at the Nintendo Switch. Now I get it. Nintendo is pretty much on the back foot, trying to make sure that their fans don't leave them before they crash to the ground because of the Wii U situation. I definitely think that the Nintendo Switch 2 could have gotten more love to stick into the pack and said, you know what, guys? We're going to give you all of these extra games. So far, the biggest games that we've gotten is Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is two games that came out back to back. After that, most of the games you consider are for a niche audience, not for the majority of Nintendo fans. Like where's the 3D Mario, the big Legend of Zelda, or some sort of remaster for Legend of Zelda. And also potentially just bigger games as a whole, but we haven't really seen that with Nintendo. Sure, we did get Hyrule Warriors, which is essentially a Zelda game, but at the same time, you can think of it as not being a Zelda game because instead of you doing your Zelda adventure where you can essentially go anywhere you want or you use your noggin to solve puzzles, you're pretty much just fighting a plethora of different enemies, which doesn't resolve with a lot of the Nintendo fan base. So my question is Nintendo planning something else big? Now, of course, so far Nintendo did not confirm anything. So all we know, we might not even get a Nintendo Direct. Maybe Nintendo is going to release a Nintendo Direct later in February, maybe 1 week before the Pokemon Presents. It could be like that because if you don't remember, just a couple of months after the Switch launch, we had something like that situation. Now we had a partner showcase and then a general direct, and then we had a Mario or Donkey Kong Bonanza or whatever it was. We had a direct that directly correlated to that. So overall, it's not too far to say that this could just be Nintendo is going to share just the partner stuff. So far we got the Mario Galaxy Direct, so they want to get rid of that into the Direct. And then we had the Tamagotchi Life Direct, so they don't want to talk about that. They just wanted to go more in detail and not waste the time. And then we could see a Partner Showcase Direct that would share off all of the partner stuff, hopefully Forza Horizon 6, because that's one game that I really want to see. I think it would be cool to be able to play it anywhere you want. And then maybe like 2 weeks later, right before the Pokemon Showcase, we could see a general direct where they don't have to talk about any third-party things because they had the partner showcase. So then the general direct is full of exciting Nintendo news. I honestly think that this actually could be the way to go because usually February directs are for Nintendo to just share everything and dump a whole plethora of games. But maybe since Nintendo might think that the games that they have right now are really good. But for me personally, I'm not a big fan of tennis. Like, I've never played a tennis Mario game, so I couldn't really be the one to talk about it. But I haven't really found some excitement for that game. Then we had the Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. I did enjoy Yoshi's Woolly World, but this game doesn't seem too exciting to me. And then we have Tamagotchi Life. Never played Tamagotchi Life, but after looking at the Nintendo Direct, I'm not sure if I want to play Tamagotchi Life. That could just be me, that's just me. So like, you can have your own opinion. Then we have the Pokemon Presents. That's probably going to give us Generation 10, but only going to release that in like probably November or October. We also have potential for Generation 5 and all those games, but those are, again, another later in the year. So in the early months of the year, what exactly are we going to be seeing here? I honestly think that Nintendo is probably planning something big, but they're just being really weird about it, because usually by now, this is essentially the first year of the console. You would see a lot of big titles or big titles getting announced. For 2017, if you don't remember the launch of the Nintendo Switch, or even going into 2018, which was essentially the same year as the Switch launch, you had Super Mario Odyssey, you had Super Smash Bros, you had games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now essentially that was just a port, but you still had that Mario Kart game. You also had, can't forget about Zelda Breath of the Wild. And you had a few other pretty big, substantial titles on the system. Right now, that is not the case. So Nintendo must be planning something, because again, it's the 40th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda series. We're also expected to see something to do with 3D Mario, because I think that it would make the most sense. This year is the time to release 3D Mario. You have the movie, so you go watch the movie, and then you get excited for 3D Mario. It's just like a thing that probably would happen this year. Then you have something like the Metroid situation. And one other thing that Nintendo has done very strangely is actually in fact come out and deny that sort of leak that we've gotten for the Walmart thing, that it was like, well, these games are going to be coming to the GameCube application, but that's no longer going to be the case. So like, yeah, sorry, it was a mistake. But is it really a mistake? Are they either making some sort of game that's like a collaboration, Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3, mixing them together so then you have all the Prime games on Nintendo system? Or is it just a thing that Nintendo or Walmart just put as a placeholder? Hey guys, we're just going to find something on the GameCube application, slap that there and say, you know what, this is what we're getting, woohoo. I don't know, it's definitely a very interesting thing, and I think that it'll probably eventually get better. I don't see Nintendo not having a full direct and sort of missing out on what they could do for Mario, what they could do for Zelda, what they could do for pretty much all the things. I don't know, it's definitely a very interesting situation, and I thought that I should get on the microphone and say my opinions and idea. I understand that there's definitely a lot of other YouTubers that have gone over this same subject, but I feel like my take on this might be a little bit different than others. So anyways, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that Nintendo is going to be planning something bigger, or do you think it's not the case? Nintendo's not going to be planning something bigger. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope you have a fantastic day. And with that being said, consider hit the like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. We do a bunch of different Nintendo content on this channel, and thank you so much. See you in the next one.